This time, our lesson is fish pens and fish cages layout and design. Let us start with the definition of fish cage. What is a fish cage? A fish cage is a structure fully enclosed by nets on all sides and bottom, supported either by a fixed rigid frame or by floats which rise and fall with water level or tide. While fish pen is an area enclosed by nets on all sides and utilizes the lake bed and other bodies of water as the bottom enclosure. Before making the layout for the fish pen or fish cage, the size, depth, and shape must be considered, which are dependent mainly on the ability of the owner as far as operation and maintenance is concerned. The biology and behavior of the target species and the characteristics of the project site should be considered as well. The design must be simple but durable, easy to construct, and economical. Determining the size, depth, and shape of the facilities and target species of fish in Laguna Lake, Philippines, size of fence range from less than 1 hectare to more than 100 hectares. The shape of the enclosure is influenced by the characteristics of the cultured fish. For milkfish and tilapia, square and rectangular pens are commonly used. Circular enclosures are recommended for big-head carp. Generally, the most economical shape of the pen is one that has the least perimeter. Circular shape require the least materials per unit area but relatively hard to construct. Fish pens are most suitable in relatively large bodies of water and along coastal protected areas where the water level ranges only from 2 meters to a maximum of 7 meters. On the other hand, the depth of the cage is usually determined by the natural productivity of the water. Since natural pond production is relatively higher in the surface, sunlight penetration is usually employed as the basis of depth. Now let us have the types of fish cage. The first one is fixed type. The fixed types of fish cages are suitable for relatively shallow areas. They are usually installed near shore or in shallow lakes like Laguna de Bay, where the water depth is less than 5 meters. In fixed type cages, synthetic net cages are attached to bamboo poles stuck to the bottom for support. Size of cages range from 5 meters to 15 meters with net mesh size of 5 to 15 millimeters. The second one is the floating type. The floating types of fish cages are suitable for depths extending 5 meters. Floating net cages are typically suspended from the bamboo raft with or without plastic drums or any other floating materials to float. Cages have a net mesh size of 15 millimeters and vary in size from 15 by 10 meters to 20 by 15 meters with a depth of 5 to 6 meters. Here we have the materials and types of nets. Fish pen. For framework structure, we have bamboo, wooden poles, and anahaw. For enclosure and barrier nets, we have polyethylene nets, polypropylene nets, nylon nets, and woven bamboo splits. For tying and braiding nets, we have polyethylene rope and twine, polypropylene rope, nylon threads, nylon cord, and rubber tire strips. For the materials for fish cages, we have number 1, framework and structure. We can use bamboo, wooden poles, anahaw, creosoted pole, and steel. For enclosure and barrier nets, we can use polyethylene nets, polypropylene nets, nylon nets, and woven bamboo splits. For tying and braiding, we can use the following materials: polyethylene rope and twine, polypropylene rope, nylon threads, nylon cord, and rubber tire strips. For the floats for fish cages, we can use the following. We have bamboo, steel drum barrel, styrofoam, plastic container, aluminum cylinder, PVC pipes, and rubber tires. For the sinkers, we can use stone, concrete slabs, bamboo, and wooden pegs. It is also very important to take note the types of nets and mesh sizes suitable for fish pen and fish cage. Generally, the most suitable nets should be flexible or adaptable for easy handling, resistant to fouling growth, heat, and ultraviolet rays. Fouling resistance is the ability of the net to prevent the growth of unwanted organisms like algae, bacteria, or branches. The mesh size to be used must be small enough to prevent the escape of the fish and entry of predators. For hatchery operations of tilapia, the most common sizes of mesh used are 5 mm. This is for the hapa. For breeding, 10 mm for nursery, and 20 mm for grow out. However, as long as the escape of the fish does not permit, large meshes are recommended since they provide large passageway for water circulation, slower rate of fouling, easier to handle, and less expensive per unit area. For fish pens and fish cages, mooring system is a very important consideration. Mooring lines should be light and strong, flexible, high resistant to fatigue, impact, abrasion, stretch, and twisting. As a general guide, the length of the mooring lines should be 3 times the depth of the water. The materials commonly used in the fabrication of synthetic fiber rope for the mooring system, we can choose from the following: nylon, Dacron, polypropylene, polyethylene. And take note that nylon is recommended for the high strength and high shock absorption requirements. Anchor for floating fish cages. An ideal anchor must provide enough holding power with reasonable weight size. The type of anchor to use in the mooring system depends on the depth of water, nature of bottom, and current. The 3 types of anchors are: the first one is deadweight anchors. They are recommended for mooring involving essentially vertical tension. A typical example is a concrete block. Embedment anchors are designed to dig into the bottom as they are being pulled by a horizontal force. It is recommended for sandy and muddy bottom. Lastly, the special anchors are a combination of deadweight and embedment anchors. They are designed to resist vertical and horizontal components of tension.